Hello, everyone. We're back with Ken Dombrowski, executive life coach and master hypnotist. And today we're going to talk about something slightly new for us. It's going to be the Dark Triad. This is actually a new concept for me, but I just want to do kind of an overview to get the lay of the land on this one, if you want to take it away.
Well, this is another one of those subjects of human behavior that can go on forever. You have the Dark Triad, which is made up of three very distinct dark, evil personality types that plague our world. And the three are psychopathy, psychopath, which also includes sociopathy. Those are just two sides of the same coin. Machiavellian, and then you have narcissist. Now, most people, everybody's heard of a psychopath, because movies and stuff like that, and we tend to abuse the crap out of narcissist. Everybody's a narcissist. If someone doesn't agree with you, they're a narcissist, whatever that might be. But then the one that kind of gets left out a lot is Machiavellian. But even like psychopath, people are using this it's wrong almost all the time. It's just not, it's not someone who's just running around, slaughtering people with a chainsaw or whatever. Psychopathy, the way you look at the psychopath, there's two ways you can develop it. You can have this. One, you're born with it, then you're a psychopath. You literally came out of the womb already wired and chemical wrong. That's who you are. It means you have zero empathy, none. A psychopathic person could, watch a person, catch on fire and not do anything to help, just kind of stand there and watch with no feelings about it whatsoever. And that's how we see when someone's like a serial killer, they can go around just, murdering people and not feel bad about it. They feel zero regret, zero remorse. So again, no empathy whatsoever. They don't even know what that might look or feel like. But then the other part of that, the other side of that coin is the sociopathy. So you can be a sociopath, but that's something that we develop through our environment. Usually growing up, whatever situation we have in our environment, some great adversity, the mind kind of snaps and needs to protect itself. So it puts itself first and foremost and eliminates a lot of those softer, warmer feelings that could end up working against me. So still end up kind of in the same place. It's just two different ways of getting there. So when we look at then the next one, like Machiavellian, we can talk about that one. Machiavelli was a prince who wrote a book. I struggle to remember, somewhere around 1,000 years ago. I can't remember exactly. Wrote this book about how to succeed at all costs, whatever it takes. Now, back then, it was, of course, much more uncivilized time. It was all about winning whatever it took. So if you were having and he writes about this in the book, in the memoirs, and someone that you're having some kind of a conflict with, well, you just go murder his family. That's the extreme Machiavelli took it. You just murdered his family so you would eliminate the threat. Things like that. And so now we take that to today's society. What does a Machiavellian mean? A Machiavellian is going to be a person who's willing to do whatever it takes to win. It's all about winning, winning, winning. Being the champion, crushing people around them. So you can see how that's in a very similar vein of psychopathy, but it actually has more intention behind it.
Right.
Then you have the third triad, which is, again, gets overused, which is narcissist. It gets overused, yes and no, but we are breeding narcissists by the millions, it seems like.
Yeah.
So you can either be born a narcissist or become a narcissist, again, through environment. So a narcissist is going to be someone who they're really most about control. Narcissists tend to win and be successful, tend to, not always, because they're constantly looking as to how to control and manipulate people and situations to their benefit. So kind of an example I like to use when it comes to narcissists, kind of get the perspective on it. Think about like the man Bernie Madoff. We all are a little bit familiar with him. He created the world's biggest Ponzi scheme. He got into $100 billion Ponzi scheme or something like this, and it went on for 30 years. Well, even though he became a billionaire, one of the world's first billionaires through what we call ill-gotten gains, he still reached this. But it was really more about convincing someone to give me the money. That's the reward. The money itself is a side benefit that I get to enjoy later. But the real true reward is getting you to hand it over. That means I have convinced you of something. I've had you question yourself, doubt yourself, and believe me. So that's where that word con man comes from. Con someone. Well, what a lot of people don't realize is the word con actually is short for confidence. I'm a confidence man. I'm going to make you have confidence in me. I'm going to con you into having confidence in me to give me an investment or give me whatever it is I'm trying to get for you. So then narcissism became this widespread thing where it's no longer just going after money or control in a business environment. It's all over the place. We have people trying to control their children, trying to control their parents, their spouses, family members, friends, coworkers. It's just all over the place. They do things like mostly is going to be gaslighting, which most people are familiar with that term, where you make someone, first thing, if I can make you doubt your own reality, now you're going to be able to have confidence in me because I'm the one who helped you realize that you're not right on something. And so now you're going to lean on me a little bit more, and it makes it easier for me to control and manipulate you. So with a narcissist, it always comes down to control, control, control.
So is it possible for someone to be multiple things within the triad? Because it's like difficult because they're so similar that it feels like you really are going to feel like you're in a couple categories but be really rooted in one. Is that accurate, or could you be the whole triad?
Of course, I want to make sure we're clear. I'm no psychotherapist, but I study human behavior all day long. So I'm not what we'd call like an absolute expert or professional on this, even though I do study it all day long.
Right.
Way I kind of see it is you can be two of the three.
Right.
It's hard to. I don't think I've ever noticed or suspected someone was all three.
Okay.
So because they are all so very evil and dark and heavy personality traits, that they have a lot of overlap. So a narcissist can have psychopathic traits, or a psychopath can have Machiavellian traits. So they can actually coexist, two in one person. Like I say, I don't know that I've ever imagined meeting someone who was all three. I'm sure that person probably exists. I'm just saying I'm not aware of them.
Right.
But usually it's going to be one of those three with a couple of small tendencies that lean into another one.
I think another thing is like, at least what I picture, like someone who's Machiavellian kind of needs to be of a certain status to be considered Machiavellian, because like narcissists can free roam, run around. You can be any kind of person to be a narcissist. Mm-hmm. You can be any kind of person, have any status to be sociopathic, psychopathic. But Machiavellian, in order to be considered that, you need to have actually decently won something, right? So like they're kind of going to be the lesser in society because there's a status involved. Am I right?
Absolutely. Well, we can say kind of, Machiavelli is going to be, what are they trying to accomplish? They're trying to get everything they can. They focus on something, and then they're convinced in their mind that they absolutely deserve that at all costs. And anything that gets in the way is just a cost of doing business or collateral damage. The interesting thing I would say about two of the three, a psychopath and a Machiavelli, they can go to prison for their crimes because chances are they're going to be committing crimes. They go to prison with no problem. They're just like, well, it's just the cost of doing business.
Right.
And they go to prison, guess what? They tend to dominate the prison too. But you know what? When you have a narcissist, if they're doing something wrong and they go to prison, that one's probably going to break down and cry. They're going to be in denial. They cannot believe that they're going to prison. And when they're in prison, they cannot believe that their tactics of control aren't working in this environment. So you can see there's like so many differences, but also similarities too.
Yeah, because it feels like narcissists have the lowest level of like self-acceptance or self-awareness, whatever you want to say. Like a Machiavellian understands they're Machiavellian. They know they're doing everything they possibly can to win. A psychopath knows they're going to do whatever they need to satiate whatever need they have. Most narcissists probably don't understand they're narcissists. We've talked about that before too. Not every narcissist is walking around like, yep, I'm a narcissist. And like you said, the stakes aren't necessarily as high, which is why I said they can be any member of society. A narcissist doesn't have to ever do one illegal thing in their entire life, and they can still be the worst narcissist you've ever met. So it's just kind of like, that's interesting too, because I think there's levels of self-awareness involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All really good points. So a Machiavelli, their self-awareness is they're driven by mowing down any competition that there is, doing whatever they need to elevate themselves. And it's very strategic for them. And they make no apologies for it. They have no remorse, no regret when they crush someone. Mm-hmm. Psychopaths aren't driven. They're not usually going to be someone of success. If they are, they're going to kind of be more of a Machiavellian. But a psychopath is just kind of responding in the moment to whatever's going on. They're lacking all the proper, social standard filters and skills and whatnot to help them with things, process. So like they can just be walking down the street, no problem. Someone says one thing to them that they don't like, they snap and kill that person.
Right.
They didn't have that impulse control. That's not going to be, to me, that's not going to be a Machiavellian. A Machiavellian's going to make a plan to go back and kill that person who disrespected me. Where a sociopath or a psychopath is going to do it in the moment.
Right.
Now, a narcissist, I've seen a lot of research, and some say that narcissists they can commit these terrible violent crimes and they're murderers. But again, to me, that starts leaning more towards sociopath or psychopath. Narcissists are going to be about control, and then they're in their extreme action of trying to get control, seize control. Yes, they can go too far, and they can hurt people. They can, even kill people. But here's the thing about out of those three, narcissist is the only one that's going to have empathy. They're going to have remorse. And it's going to be a very tiny, tiny little fraction, like a fraction of a percent. It'll show up. They'll feel extremely terrible. They'll have a tantrum cry. They'll body convulse. But then 2 minutes later, that's over and gone like it never happened. That's that emotion that they've been pushing down comes bursting out of them, and they don't have any real choice in the matter.
I think that's why they're also the only of the three that I would consider capable of playing the victim, because there's empathy. Like, you can't be a victim unless there's some level of empathy involved, because then you can understand at least a little bit what a victim would feel. Like a Machiavellian person or a psychopathic person doesn't know what a victim feels like because they can't feel like one themselves. So that's maybe like another part to your point. To me, it kind of sounds like the narcissist is the most different out of the three, which also makes sense because it is the most common. Like, it's okay to have a bunch of narcissists running around. It's not preferred. It's okay. But having a bunch of Machiavellians or a bunch of psychopaths running around, in the levels we see narcissists right now, that'd be a little scary. So it does make total sense. And, obviously everything evolves with time because, like you said, the reason for being Machiavelli when it was created was a lot different than how anyone's going to be using it now. Same thing with narcissism. That's why it evolved to the point of having so many people like that on the planet. It's just like whatever suits current society.
Society is molding and shaping every bit of it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say this again and again and again. Being overly informed is the accelerant. It is what is making mental, emotional health and well-being, spiritual health and well-being, physical health and well-being, making it more and more difficult. You think, okay, with all the information you can eat this diet, take this supplement, take this drug, and it's supposed to be helping it. In fact, it's actually making things way, way, way worse because people get this fatigue. They've tried every diet, and every diet has failed. So how can I trust that the next one is going to help?
Right.
So you see, that's way too much information that we get that it ends up working against us in so many ways.
I think that makes total sense because the last thing I ever want to be is woke on any sense of the word in any area, arena, either any side, you know, like I don't want to be woke. I don't want to have enough information to be considered woke because that usually means you're pretty angry, you're pretty pissed off. And I just have no interest in being informed on things that I have no capability of changing. As much as we'd all love to believe that we're capable of changing so much, it just doesn't work that way. And I think the wokeness is creating narcissists by the fistfuls, and it's contributing to Machiavellian people wanting certain rises in certain places, and may even make the psychopaths and the sociopaths snap. It's really just contributing to the worst parts of society.
I think the Machiavellis and the psychopaths are looking at the narcissists going like, man, those people are crazy.
Right. But that's not to say, they're not all judging each other. They're not all in cahoots all the time. Everyone's their own brand of, dark, I guess.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was actually a super interesting video. Like I said, I learned a lot because I think that's an interesting topic. You say Machiavelli all the time when we're talking about people, and I'm like, what is that? So I think that was really good. Thank you so much for all that information.
My pleasure.
If you think that you need help with the Dark Triad, you're dealing someone with the Dark Triad, or you are in it, go ahead and give us a call or visit our website today. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Thank you.